supermarkets. You tasked your colleagues, Angus Taylor and David Littleproud, to look into a plan to break up the supermarkets and rather than cooperate with the Greens. What would this plan look like? So how do you square potential divestment powers with political parties' free market foundations?
Well, a couple of points. When we were in government, obviously we had legislation there in relation to energy companies because of the conduct that was going on within the energy sector. I believe very strongly that if there's market failure in a particular market and consumers are being adversely impacted, for example, in a particular geographic region where there was a concentration of Coles or Woolies stores to the exclusion of those other competitors and consumers were paying more by way of price, then I think in that circumstance you would look at whether or not that market domination would continue. You've got a situation now where Coles and Woolies have their own property development arms. They're purchasing blocks of land so that other competitors can't build within vicinity of their existing operations or their planned operations. So I think there's a question mark about the appropriateness of that behaviour. Ultimately, we've got consumers who are paying through the roof at the moment for items when they turn up to a checkout, and that's because of the government's energy policy, because of the decisions the government's made in 2 budgets which have forced up inflation. And inflation doesn't just impact your interest rates. Everybody knows that their mortgages at the moment are higher because of Labor's inflation rate, and that fuels the interest rate. But we also know that it impacts on small businesses, and we've seen today many small businesses who are adversely impacted by the high inflation rate. The core inflation rate in this country is higher than most other comparable nations, and the Reserve Bank Governor has pointed out that our problem here is homegrown, and the government continues to spend, they continue to tax, and whilst that's the case, the Reserve Bank will have a very tough time arriving at a decision to reduce interest rates. And I think families get that they're really suffering at the moment because of the decisions being made by the Albanese government. The government's making it harder, not easier for families, and I just don't think Australian families can afford 3 more years of a bad Labor government.